understood everyone else working down here. Now, the Fanagalo language consists of 1,500 words, no grammar, and it took minus only 21 days to learn it. So before you can work underground, they first take you to a school, to classes, to learn the language. And if you didn't know the language, you couldn't get a job underground. And it's very easy. It is written right here on these posters. The first poster over there, lo beginning and azenza wana kula hamba la first aid. So scratches can lead to infections. You should go to the first aid. And my driver said wena pambili wena sebenzisa yena. So drivers check your machine before you can use it. And this area here was also a first aid station. They kept stretchers and they also kept spares for running repairs on the pipes. Equipment on daily use. So if something breaks, they would fix it immediately. Same time. Right, we are on level 5 of the mine, and this mine has 57 levels. So there's still 52 levels below this level here. So what they would do, they would climb up on the other side, they would go to the level above us. They would break some rocks up there, pushing those rocks down to this opus. They would bring an empty cocoa pen into place and simply lift up the cross plank, then all the rocks will slide into this cocoa pen. Now when it's full, they would close down the cross plank, then pushing these cocoa pens away to the station. And no one knows where the name cocoa pen comes from. It's officially called a 1-ton tipping car. So this carries 1 ton of rocks. It used to be pushed by 2 men. And now on this mine, out of 1 ton of rocks, you're only getting 4 grams of gold. Size of a shirt button. Sure. For the miners to make a bar of gold, which is 12 kilograms, they need 3,200 of these tons. And that's the reason why the mine was closed, because it didn't make enough profit. And down on the shaft, there's too much water because it's below sea level. And it costs them a lot of money to always pump out the water to the surface. But there's still a lot of gold left on this mine. They've mined at least half of this mine. So there's still another half left, but it's not profitable because of the water. And this is a tally board. We used it to calculate how many copper pens they've pushed. Now the holes are in rows of 1 to 10 for easy counting. And if they've pushed 30 of these copper pens, 10, 20, 30, they'll put a stick over there. 1 more, that's 31. Put a stick on the 31st hole. And the reason why they used this tally board is because back in the olden days there were no schools, so they didn't know how to count. And this was their easiest way for them to count how many cocoa pens they've already done per shift. Okay, keep it to your right hand side and mind your head. The tunnel is getting a little bit lower. We'll have to bend down a bit.
Those guys are getting left behind.
And this area here, we call it the stope. This is where the actual gold comes from. Now, as you can see, it is just a big hole. It goes up to level 1. That's because they've extracted all the rock that contains gold. And now, obviously, when removing rocks up here, there'll be a constant danger of a rock fall. The roof will collapse. So what they would do, they would support the roof using all the poles that you see here from the blue gum trees called eucalyptus. They are originally from Australia. And another method of support are the roof bolts. It's a big roll bolt like this one here. It is used where it's not practical to use all these poles. So what they would do, they would drill a hole into the hanging wall at 90 degrees depending on the length of the bolt. they'll insert this bolt inside the hole, then they'll tighten it down here at the end. And now when they tighten it, this end inside the rock will open itself like a roll pond, and it'll wedges itself against the rocks. Now each bolt like this can suspend up to 10 tons of rocks not to collapse. And when this bolt is fully in, there they are, everywhere on the top, also on the sides, there are the supports.
It's one of those shops that they drop wood on.
Right, back in the early days before they had electricity, remember they used the hammers and chisels, and they had to chip 1 meter holes on the rocks. And just to make a meter hole using a hammer and a chisel, it took them 8 hours, the whole shift. And after electricity, there came a machine. It is called a jackhammer. It uses compressed air and water. This machine can drill a 1 meter hole in 5 minutes. So you can imagine from 8 hours down to 5 minutes. I'm sure you can understand how this machine speeded up the gold production. And now I'm going to demonstrate the machine, and it gets very loud. You may want to block your ears. Cover your ears. Cover your ears. Earplugs were issued to each and every miner to prevent the noise damaging their eardrums. The electrical locomotive, a little train, it came into use later on in the late 1930s after electricity. Now this train eliminates men to push those cocopads themselves, and it can pull up to 8 cocopads at the same time. Using electric roads up here, only one driver, and it was named Goodman. Did a good job. And this is how the mine shafts were laid out. As you can see that they went a lot deeper, down to level 57, 3,293 meters deep. But we are on level 5 now, 225 meters. We are here on the red slide. That's where we are now, just on top. So we won't be able to go further down because the shafts are flooded with water, as I said. The water is just 20 meters from this level here, all flooded with water. So this mine is closing today. No more tours.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
today. You're lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, because the shafts are flooded. When the mine was operating, they used to continuously pumping the water out to the surface. So since the mine was closed in 1977, that's when they stopped to pump the water out, and that's the reason why the water is rising now.
Oh, okay.
So from the surface, it took miners 2 hours going down there. They worked for 8 hours, another 2 hours coming back up. So 12-hour shift, but they were only paid for 8 hours, not for traveling time. And this side, this is the shop that we came on. We are on level 5 now. So in case of emergency, you'll have to walk up the stairs. Now the deeper you go, you get other types of rocks. And the rock that was mined on this mine, that's a quartzite, quartz. And that's the one we use. You see there's a difference between the rocks.
Can you touch it?
Yeah, you can touch it. This one here. Right. Now this is the one that they're looking for, the one that contains gold. Gold is inside here, it's very fine, you cannot see it with your naked eyes. Inside the black pebbles here and the white quartz. And
That's
this,
what the gold is.
yeah, this ring is called the Kimberley quartzite. This Kimberley quartz consists of 88% of gold, 10% silver, the rest are base metals.
88%
Gold.
Gold.
Yes. So 10% is silver, the rest are base metals, copper and zinc.
Oh, okay.
So what they would do, they would extract all this rock and take it up to the surface. They would crush it into a fine powder and put some chemicals inside to separate all the gold. The more the black pebbles on the rock, the more the gold you get. And this is the main reef here. This is about a meter, not more than this. And it goes back to the surface at an angle of 85 degrees north down to south. So that's the same rock behind you over there. And now they say when you rub against the stuff here and wipe behind your ears, you'll take some good luck. Yeah, you can try it.
Let's do that.
I don't know. I don't know if it works for anybody. So.
Just across the street we have the casino.
Hey.
So you can go and try your luck there. Right? Yeah. The metal skip over there, this is where those cockopens, those 1-ton trolleys full of rocks and heavy materials, they went up to the surface using a skip up and down. So they'll push those cockopens till here, then there'll be a machine, a winch, that will come down here and winch them up. The stairs, that's our emergency exit. So if the power cuts, we'll have to walk up here, and it has 1,042 steps.
Oh my goodness.
So it will take us not less than 1 hour, 10 minutes to go up to the surface. And it's hot up there because there's no ventilation. The temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. Very hot. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure guiding you around the mine. This is the end of our tour. We're going back to the surface. Thank you. Pleasure.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Say that.
Well, we get to be the last people.
Yeah.
So it's never opening again.
No.
Wow.
I will show you the water when it gets to the shaft. It's very close to here. Because now this is acid water that is flooding the whole of Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Because all these mines, they connecting underground. So the government has to come up with a plan to purify the water and pump it out.
I think that's pumping water, I think. What is this, a pipe?
Yeah, it's a pipe. They're pumping water to the shaft so that it shouldn't flood this level now.
Well, it's good I came to sort I was scared to come down here.
And what time does the shaft close?
4 o'clock.
So 1 more hour and then it's
Then it's closed.
finished for good.
Yeah. Okay, once more, mind your head.
Mind your head, Jennifer.
So they
Mind your head. Watch your head.
they're going to blast another tunnel like this one here
Yes, sir.
on level 2, which is about 80 meters from the top. And it will take around 6 to 8 months